The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
Paranormal 5 is bringing you Para Peeps New England to help showcase some of the best in the paranormal and unexplained in the area. Their goal? To show the strength of paranormal unity by giving everyone in the field a voice. Join them as they discuss everything from haunted locations, aliens, metaphysical, cryptids, and much, much more. So sit back, enjoy the show, and as always, thank you for listening.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of Para Peeps New England. My name is Rich.
And I'm Missy.
And we are of Paranormal 5, a Maine-based paranormal family. And tonight, as we start all of our podcasts, I just want to thank you all for coming back. Also, thank you for checking out our last episode, which was our Gettysburg episode. It was a place, obviously, that we hold near and dear to our hearts, so it was fun for us to get to share and let you guys hear from the expert over here.
Not an expert.
Self-proclaimed expert.
I just like it a lot.
Yes. So, in kind of keeping with the theme of doing some stuff ourselves, we do have a special little guest tonight. Keyword on little. We will get to her in just a moment because tonight we are going to be interviewing our daughter Dylan, who is 1/5 of our Paranormal 5 team as well. Some of you may know her as Ghost Bait, as she was dubbed at our last investigation. So we're going to get to her in just a little bit. But Missy, first I want to start and just kind of get your thoughts on, our kids being in the paranormal, and why do you feel that it's important to share this with them?
Okay. Well, growing up as a child that had so much interest in the paranormal, I just was fascinated about it all. And I loved it, and it felt like it kind of just came along. It felt like it was something that was going to naturally happen with me having kids of my own, that they were kind of just going to be kind of stuck, not saying stuck with it, but it was going to probably be a part of their life as well. Obviously never pushed or anything like that. But as a parent looking at raising our kids into this environment, I feel like not only are they picking up a pretty awesome hobby,
Definitely.
but I also feel like, they're able to get skills. Like they're learning self-confidence skills. Sure. They're learning history, local, and even beyond that, like stuff that they'll probably never learn in school.
Definitely. They're
able to go to these locations and hear about be able to put the history, like a face to the history. Like I said, with these locations that they probably will be able to. And then also they get to meet a lot of amazing people along the way.
They do. I've said that a couple of different times, that the people that, we've had a chance to meet, and definitely the people that we haven't had a chance to meet yet, it's just this field yields such amazing people with all different, just a variety of techniques, and just, whether it's talking about their tactics of ghost hunting, or whether it's just sitting down and having conversations with these people. I mean, it's always a good time. We're always laughing, and they've definitely kind of taken us in and taken in the kids as well. And I also think it's important that I think they gain a whole new level of respect, just in how we're dealing with these places. I mean, being respectful for somebody else's property. I mean, so it's as basic as that. We're dealing with it on a historical level of these buildings, and remembering what they are and paying respects to what was there, and that's something that can carry over into many real life situations as well. Also, just being respectful of others, being, how you communicate, it just being open. I think it develops a healthy level of, really thinking things through, and not just buying into what you're told or what you hear, and really just, figuring things out for yourselves, and being a healthy skeptic and questioning things that should be questioned, and not just kind of being a sucker for whatever somebody tells you. So I think there's a ton of skills that can translate from here to real world scenarios. without them even knowing. So it's like a little bit of education they're getting, while just, let's be honest, just having fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I also just say, it also kind of gives a little bit of kind of like maybe a little bit of peace of mind and not be so fearful of death because it
Definitely.
can be a really scary thing. Like even to us adults, just almost kind of, it's not over. Like we still, there's evidence out there that it's not over. There's still communication happening and everything like
Exactly.
that. So, it brings a little bit of lightness to kind of a scary subject.
Definitely.
So.
Speaking of scary, uh, so she's 10 going on 20, and she's here with us now. I'd like all to welcome Dylan to the conversation. How we doing, Dylan?
Good.
Good.
Are you sure you're good?
Yeah.
You're a little nervous.
Yeah.
There's millions of people that are listening to this right now.
Millions?
Millions.
Not millions.
We're working on it. Tens, maybe, of 15s. So Dylan, that's kind of Missy and I, your mother and I, is kind of what is special for us about you being involved in what we're doing. But how is it for you? What is it like being 10 years old and you've pretty much grown up, entirely in this field? Maybe not necessarily out investigating, but our house, our decor, everything is spooky, everything is different, everything is creepy. Christmas is Halloween, 4th of July is Halloween. What's it like for you being a 10-year-old growing up in a family like that?
Hmm. Um,
Do you like it?
yeah, it's fun. I would have to say it is really fun, but it's really just a big surprise half the time because you really don't know what's coming. One day it can be a completely normal day, but the next day will be down Gettysburg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keeps it entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
Conversations at the dinner tables, are kind of interesting sometimes too.
Yeah.
Bigfoot, aliens, serial killers.
It's all hand in hand, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit about what is it specifically about the paranormal that you like? What are your favorite things about the paranormal?
Well, I really like investigating and meeting new people. And
AKA Travis.
yeah, aka Travis. I guess I really just like the thrill of it, I guess.
Thrill of it, okay.
Do you kind of get like a little adrenaline rush, like when you do these places? Kind of get like the butterflies in
I
your
guess
stomach.
it really depends on where it is.
Oh, okay. It has to be that special spot that you get those vibes. Okay, that's good.
I like that.
Okay, so kind of going back to like the house and how we are here at the house, and we do have some items, some possible dolls. I know as you're eyeing them right now as we record this. Yeah, we have a few, but not all of them are definitely necessarily haunted. But how do you feel about having these type of objects in the house?
Well, I mean, sometimes they can creep me out, but other times they're really interesting to look at.
So, if you had a friend come into the house, what would you say about the dolls if they looked at them?
I would like tell them not to be scared of them, and just like I would warn them before they come in case they do end up getting scared.
Okay,
that's a good answer.
Yeah.
And have you ever felt that? Because Missy and I have talked about this on some of our lives and other podcasts. Do you ever feel that you've noticed anything that you might think have been caused by something from hearing the case? Like, do you ever kind of, obviously in your home, it's a safe place, but have you ever kind of gotten a vibe or a feel for anything since we brought stuff in?
Well, I mean, when you guys took out that one doll out in public, and then when we came back the next day,
yeah.
The glass went flying off the fridge and it shattered everywhere.
That's actually really interesting. So to tell
yeah.
a quick story, Missy and I were fortunate enough to host a Paranormal 101 class at our local adult education building here in town. And so, as part of the class, we brought some of our items. We brought some tools, and we did bring a couple of our dolls. And Bella, one of our dolls, who we've kind of identified prior to this event that she's not the biggest fan of being in the public eye. We've done a couple of live events where she's been in the background, and people, some sensitives, and just some people that got some vibe that she was putting off. That just she wasn't a big fan of being on camera. So
And we were also kind of getting that like
yeah,
vibe from her when we would add other dolls or items to the case as well. Like, she
sure.
definitely didn't like the shake up and the change.
Yeah, it took her a little bit to get adapted. So, we kind of went against that judgment, and we did bring her out. For we kind of pre-gamed her as we always do, and we talked about what we were doing with her and why we were bringing her out, and that we were, basically bringing her out to kind of help other people, and introduce, them to items. And so we brought her out. The class went great, and we get home that night, or maybe it was the next day. I don't remember. But
I think it was that night.
was it that same night? So anyway, we had a glass jar that was up on top of our refrigerator. And as we were walking by it, it was literally myself, Missy, and Dylan were getting ready to walk by, and the glass jar slides off the top of the refrigerator and smashes on the ground, kind of in between us. So we kind of just looked at each other and was like, "Oh, okay, so maybe we shouldn't bring Bella out again because clearly she's letting us know that she was not a fan of that." So
was it paranormal? Who knows? But we knew that we kind of pushed her outside of her comfort level, and maybe kind of like a shame on us. Like, even though we did kind of talk to her beforehand, kind of like Richie said, kind of gave her a pep talk about it all, and very respectful. But maybe the next class next week we'll kind of
we'll sub her out.
We'll kick her back.
So that was interesting you brought that up though, Dill. So kind of keeping that theme though, you've had a chance to come along with Missy and I on some of the investigations.
You keep on calling me Missy, Mom. Everybody knows that I'm Missy.
That's true
Mom.
too. So Mom.
Mom.
Your mother and I, excuse me, have brought you along on a good amount of investigations. Some that we posted, some that we've gone to some local spots. We were always down for grabbing a graveyard here and there. But for you, at the places that you've been, what would you say is your favorite place you've investigated so far, and why?
Definitely Wilson Castle,
Okay.
because we were staying there 2 nights, and it was just an enormous place, and I love the swing. The one.
Oh yeah.
And I heard the reason why. It's because when women, like the women, and when they wear like those big dresses, they had those kind of swings, so their dresses wouldn't go flying everywhere.
Yeah. I forget the name of them, but it was basically a large wooden platform that was chained as a swing, and it actually did have a specific name and purpose, just like Dylan had said, for women in the type of gowns and dresses that they would wear to avoid them from up over their heads, I'm assuming, when they're swinging. And
yeah. So. And I kind of have to go back to Dylan at Wilson Castle, is that how she was saying that we were there all weekend, and a great example of building confidence in your children and stuff like that. So this was a brand new place that all of us had never gone to before. And the next morning, after the first night of investigating, Dylan was walking around the house by herself, like wandering.
Sure.
It's a huge location. It's a castle. It's beautiful. It's 4 floors, like including the attic and basement.
Oh yeah, including those.
There's a lot of floors. I'm sorry, Matt, if I'm kind of butchering this. I know you love Wilson Castle a ton, but
you got 3 floors, a basement, and an attic.
Yeah, so
it's
just
5. 5 floors now.
Okay, whatever. But just an example of she was going out to these locations or walking around the building like she owned the place, and was kind of soaking it all up, like going up to the 2nd floor by herself.
Yeah.
Like,
and also didn't go unnoticed, but we were fortunate enough to have this event with multiple other investigators, other groups that we look up to that we enjoy working with, and she definitely held her own with a lot of these people, and we heard about it afterwards. So it was really cool from a parent standpoint to kind of see that happen, to see someone really, when your kids really kind of step out of their comfort zone, and even in some of the we were helping host the event as far as bringing groups around, kind of like a tour guide investigation, and she had no problem leading parts of it herself. So it's really cool to see that as a parent, and to kind of see her kind of grow and gain confidence in herself, and in something that really gaining a lot of interest in. So that's places that you have investigated. And real quickly too, I just want to add. So you've been fortunate. You've done Wilton Castle. We've been to Gettysburg multiple times. You've been able to go through the Jenny Wade House. You've been able to go through the orphanage down in Gettysburg. We've done multiple investigations in Parsonsfield Seminary. A couple of the forts in the area. So she's already got a pretty good list of stuff going. So tell us some place that you would like to investigate that you have not had a chance to yet.
Well, I would like to do the Conjuring House.
Ooh.
And what was the other one called? The Catacombs in Paris.
And for those of you who don't know, which obviously most of you don't, Paris is definitely on Dylan's bucket list of places it has been for quite some time. So it's cool to see that there's a place over there while being there just to enjoy Paris. You could also go and get her spooky side on too. The catacombs in Paris are the underground. I don't know if they're tombs, but they're all built out of skull and bones. And it's
the burial.
Yeah. It's very impressive. Sorry about that. So what do you think about? So obviously, you've been doing this now for I would say a lot stronger for the last year, but again, you've grown up in it. You've tagged along with us. You've been doing this for quite some time. What do you think when people say that children shouldn't be involved in the paranormal, or people that might be a little skeptical to let when they hear that we let our kids come along with us and go on these investigations?
Well, first of all, I don't think that they're thinking straight.
She's very honest, folks.
And the reason why I think that is because ghosts can be more comfortable around children than they are grown-ups or adults.
Oh, that's very true.
Definitely. And actually, we got to experience that firsthand. Like I said, when we went to the orphanage in Gettysburg.
Do you want to kind of share that story, Dylan?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about how you think being a kid worked in that scenario.
Well, we were down in the, what was it, like the basement? Yeah, we were down in the basement, and we were playing jacks, and we lost the ball, and I asked if we can, or my mom asked if she could bring over the ball. They didn't have it. Then I asked, and the ball came straight towards me.
Yeah. Which is, again, we've talked about it before, but that was a really impressive little piece of evidence we caught there, because there by no means did that ball have a clear path back to Dylan. And the fact that it made it from one side of the room to the other, avoiding all the obstacles in the way, and literally came right to her, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
for sure.
Even like twice.
Yeah. And one thing that I kind of have to stress about a little bit about this question about having people, we haven't really had this question come up, or like we haven't been frowned upon, I guess, with having our children in the paranormal. And one thing that I have to stress that we definitely do as parents is obviously, I think, like I mentioned earlier, is that we never push anything on the kids. And when we go to locations and areas where, they might start to feel like a little fearful, kind of they don't want to do it, then, we kind of tap out of it,
So you're saying that we shouldn't use the kids as experiments?
I don't think we have used them as
I think we called it something else.
You called
they were
me
experiments,
Ghost
but I think we called it
I don't remember what we called it.
At the orphanage.
But but the thing was about at the orphanage is that we got to choose between investigating the Jenny Wade house or the orphanage. And all three of you guys wanted to do the orphanage. So that was kind of,
It was awesome having you guys pick that.
You guys got to pick the investigation for when we went down to Gettysburg. And, you wanted to bring the jacks because you knew,
and pickup sticks.
And the pickup sticks. You wanted to get down and you wanted to play the games. We kind of let you guys lead the way. And that's how both your father and I feel like when we investigate with you guys, and hopefully, we'll be able to do more places as you guys get older. It's kind of hard because a lot of these places you have to be like 18 or older, which is kind of a big bummer, but baby steps, we're getting there. But
it's also worked in a favor too. I mean, we've actually gone on investigations where once they learned of our situation and the fact that we do have kids highly interested, they've requested that we brought kids. I mean, for instance, down at
Oliver House,
the Oliver House, they actually, Christy down at the Oliver House that runs the tours there, she really wants us to bring the kids down because I think as an investigator, obviously, like you get joy out of seeing kids do things that they enjoy, but also from her standpoint as an investigator, like she also is also looking at that as, what better way to interact with spirits or to have a friendly interaction with a child. I mean, obviously, like Dylan says, they're more they might be more open to communicate with kids, and that could just change the whole vibe of the building and the energy of the building as well.
Yeah, but it's also, obviously, like you said, it brings the vibe, but, there's also kid spirits too that would love to see, a friendly little face like yours, Dylan. But yeah, so pretty much is that we respect our children's boundaries and we pull them out. And one thing that we do talk about really quickly, I know we kind of skipped over what I was trying to say, but we try to talk about like why they were feeling fearful and kind of try to tap into that, and maybe we can take it a step further the next time if they get into that situation and feeling and stuff like that. So I didn't mean to like backtrack, but I just wanted to make sure that like I got that point out there about that.
And so, Dylan, we talked a little bit about, what it's like growing up in a paranormal family, and what that's been like. But tell us a little bit, if anything, have you gotten any kind of reaction or what do you think your friends think of what you get to do? Because, as far as, I don't know that there are a lot of other kids in your school that have gotten some of those opportunities and to do these things that you do.
I don't think that anybody.
So what do you think? I mean, have you gotten any feedback from your friends as far as what you do and what you like to do?
I mean, I don't really talk about it like all the time there. I mean, I'll bring it up here and there. Some of them think it's like cool and interesting. Others they care, but at the same time they really don't care. Then others like don't even care. Yeah. They don't even say anything. They're just like, yeah, cool, whatever. I don't care.
And I wonder too if you had the opportunity to bring some of those friends along, how do you think they would react? And I mean, because you've been in some situations where, for I feel like a your age, definitely have gone in the opposite direction, been nervous or been scared or been, and you've kind of tackled it. So do you think your friends would have the same level of confidence that you do in some of these scenarios?
No, not at all. I think they would either cry, make a joke out of it to make them not be scared, or just completely back down and ask to leave the house immediately and call their mom and leave.
So I'm thinking since her birthday's coming up.
Play this at her birthday party?
Oh,
no, I'm thinking her birthday party's coming up, but let's do it at like a place and have our kids go and like your friends go investigating with us. I think that would be. I wish that I had that as a birthday party.
We could do Parsons Field, and we can bring. Let's see, what are like the mainly friends, like the true friends who won't call.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I think that would be interesting. But I feel like even as a kid, like growing up, like, it was so like taboo. Like you didn't talk about it back then when I was a kid. Not like it was so many. Well, it was a while ago.
I mean, I think it obviously be a lot different now because you do have so much more attention, on TV and again. I mean, I know most kids are watching YouTube anyway, but for those that do get to watch some of the shows, I mean, there's a lot more outlets for kids to be able to see than there was for you and I growing up. So there could be that, but again, I think you've had some pretty awesome opportunities. That obviously, as we've talked about, not a lot of the kids that that have been in your school or whatnot that have had those same opportunities. So
yeah, cool. I think it's pretty cool.
I'd be proud of, definitely. So amongst all this investigating, the different places you've been, the places that you want to go, what is your favorite tools to use when you're investigating?
My favorite tools would be the pendulum.
Yep.
Dowsing rods, REM pod, and cat balls.
Now, is that because you're a crazy cat lady in training, or you just like the...
I have one cat that is absolutely in love with me.
It starts with one. It starts with one, and then it goes to like 8. So, no.
She doesn't get any of our cat balls, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, no, sadly, I did not.
But I like that
order. No, not you, but your cat. She doesn't get our cat balls.
And I like that you've kind of kind of start out with a lot of like the metaphysical, because I think I see a good blend in what you have done on site and when investigating both your mother and myself, in using a little bit more of the metaphysical stuff, but also wanting to use some of the more scientific tools. And I think having the open mind and utilizing both is really good, and it helps you kind of develop more of an opinion or more. Again, we talk about this all the time. It's the more tools in your toolbox. The more ways you can go about investigating, the better chances you have of being able to not only capture some evidence, but also validate your evidence that you've captured too.
And Dylan actually recently just started putting together her toolbox.
I got a mini toolbox.
Yeah, which
After
is
making fun of,
yes. So we bought a toolbox, like an actual big toolbox, a few months ago, probably almost.
Sure.
I don't even know when it was. It was about a year or so ago,
Mm-hmm.
and so we bought this toolbox, and Dylan started making fun of us, and she's like, "Oh, you guys are going to show up on investigations. So here's my toolbox," like totally ragging on us. And here she is building her own toolbox out of a toolbox.
That was last year. This is this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
see?
so that's old Dylan. This is new mature Dylan.
That was the old Dylan that didn't get to go on a bunch of investigations.
That was Dylan.
Oh, okay.
This is Ghost Bait.
Yeah. That was Dylan.
This is Ghost Bait.
Ghost Bait frame of mind. So she's looking for stickers, folks, to put on her case. So feel free to give a shout out. So we would love to get some stickers for her case.
So on these investigations, with your tools that you like to use, these places that you want to go, or that you have been, have you ever found yourself scared in any of the investigations?
Well, I guess my first ever real investigation where I went with other people that I didn't know, which was Parsons Field. I guess going into the investigation itself was really scary, but once you were doing the actual investigation, it wasn't scary at all. It was actually really fun. And so I guess in the beginning, because you really don't know what's coming.
And so you took over your father's group that night.
Yes.
I did, yes. That is true.
You ended up running the group.
I was in charge.
I'll have to back that up and say that I really haven't, I don't feel that we've been in a scenario where you have been the one that, that it was too much for. Like Mitzi and I said that, we will never continue a situation if anyone starts to feel uncomfortable. And it's been really easy because Dylan, you haven't really been in a situation where you haven't felt comfortable. So I think that's big.
Yeah, and even I think with the boys too. We really haven't run into that situation. Sometimes I feel like it's more boredom than anything. Sure. They're just like.
But I think it also says a lot and kind of lends to our investigation style, where we're not going in looking for the demons and we're not looking for all the negative, and we approach it with such an open mind that and again it's become so acceptable in our house. We don't, going back to some of the knowledge that you gain, and we've talked about the afterlife, and we've talked about what it could be, and kind of taken away some of that fear of what it is, and you can kind of really see that when we go out to these places. That there isn't that level of fear, and it's more of a level of curiosity. Definitely.
I agree. Oh, I'm going to do a question now. Oh. So, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out which question we were on. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Oh, right here. So if you could
I was going to add any laugh track in there.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, folks. Yeah, you can add the laugh track now because I literally didn't know which question we were on. So, if you could get any tool, if money was not a problem, you had a couple $100 to drop, what type of tool would you want to get?
I would want to get the Ovilus.
The Ovilus?
Yeah, the Ovilus, the SLS camera, and a music box.
Yeah, I like the music box. I would definitely like to do that for sure. Now, kind of really quick question. I feel like we kind of ask all of our people here on this. What is your favorite paranormal show?
Mine?
Yeah.
Well, I have two.
Well, do let us know.
Well, my first one is, what's it called? Destination Fears. That would be my first one. My second one would have to be Kindred Spirits.
Okay. Nice.
Now, why do you like Destination Fear?
Well, It's just a really funny show because it's a brother and sister, and I feel like that's gonna be me and Silas when we grow up. We're just gonna be investigating and whatever. It'd be really funny.
It probably is
I
going to
guess
be
it's just
when
a
you grow
really
up.
funny show. They don't take it like super seriously.
I like that you
And
said
that's
that
what I
because
don't
I
like.
feel the same way. It's
Like
not
when they take it seriously, it's not that fun.
that show kind of represents what we call like the pay to plays, where you're just there to experience what's in a place, and you're not necessarily going in trying to help anybody or trying to solve anything. You're really just looking to immerse yourself and try to have that experience. And so, it feels like it's got a pretty good, legit feel to it, and they, their reactions seem pretty real.
Yeah.
So, and then Kindred Spirits, obviously, I just me, the reason I like you liking it is because their approach and again, they're very respectful and they go at it from a certain way. They don't do like the provoking styles, and I like the way that they do things and how they're portrayed. So I think that's a good example too for some of the shows, as we know, are kind of a little over the top, but I think those are some good ones to get some examples from.
Yeah, definitely. So, Dylan, talking about all these ghosties and everything like that, what is your favorite scary story?
My
Or your favorite ghost story?
Okay, it's not true, but it's called The Bloody Ghost. And basically, the story is there is this family that just moved into this new house. It's a cabin in the middle of the woods. The daughter hears the phone ringing, and she picks up the phone, and she hears a really deep voice, and it says, "I'm the Bloody Ghost, and I am 3 miles away." The girl hangs up the phone. She tells her mom and dad. They say it was probably just a prank phone call. You're fine. So then she hears the phone rings again. So then she goes to see what or who was calling the phone. She goes down, picks up the phone. It's the same exact the deep voice, and it says, "I'm the Bloody Ghost, and I am 2 miles away." She hangs up the phone. She tells her mom. The mom says it's probably nothing, just don't pick up the next phone call. She hears the phone ring again. She doesn't want to pick it up, but she does anyways. So she picks up the phone and says, "I'm the Bloody Ghost, and I am 1 mile away." She screams and puts the phone down. She tells her dad. The dad tells her, "Don't worry about it. You're going to be fine." She goes back downstairs and hears the phone ringing again. She picks up the phone. It's the same dark voice or deep voice, and it says, "I'm the Bloody Ghost, and I'm on your front doorsteps." The girl screams, drops the phone, and hides under the table. She hears a knock on the door, and the door slams wide open. It's the Bloody Ghost, and it asks if he can have a Band-Aid.
So much drama.
I know,
So much
right?
build-up.
That was a good build-up. That was a really good build-up. I like that story. I feel like I haven't even heard that story
I could
before.
have sworn I've told it to you guys.
Yeah, no, I've never heard that one.
And then my other one, I forget. My mom's told me this one. I don't remember.
The Pirates of Isles of Shoals.
I don't know how to tell the story though.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. There's so many stories with the Isles of Shoals here, or I feel like here on the rocky coast of New England, there's a lot of pirate legends and lores and everything like that. So, Dylan, what are your goals for the field? Like, what do you want to do in this field? What do you want to bring to the table in this field?
Well, I want to travel a lot, and go other places, and I want to, learn about, different hauntings in other countries.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you wanted to do?
Oh, and, and I also want to learn about, different hauntings and, what different types of hauntings there are.
So, like, you want to figure out more of, like, the type of,
repeated...
The residual...
Residual, not repeated. Residual,
no, it's okay.
And what was the other one? Intelligent haunting.
Mm-hmm. So when we saw our ghosts, which I feel like we talked about last week, or not last week, but our last episode, what did you think about, did you think that our full body apparition that we saw when we were down in Gettysburg, down in the Devil's Den area, Did you think that was an intelligent haunting or a residual haunting?
Residual.
Okay.
Because he was kind of like marching and like moving around, and like it looked like it was doing something that you would do in like a battle.
Okay, like a type of formation and everything
Yeah.
like that. Very cool. Now, do you see yourself doing this once you're, older and grown up and moved out of the house?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't do it, I feel like, as often, but I would do it like here and there.
You'd do it here and there.
Yeah.
Can I curiously live my life through you while you're in the
In your
catacombs
world travels.
in your world travels? Like, you'll just have to like take pictures and share your journey with me.
Its looks could go.
I know, right? If you could see her look that I'm getting right now about this.
I mean, I would take pictures and all of that.
Yeah, like FaceTime.
Yeah, I would FaceTime you and show you everything, of course.
Could I use my tools while I'm here in America and you're over there?
I don't think it works like that.
I think it does, yeah.
It might.
They can do it with mediums. They can project themselves into a scenario, so maybe.
I mean, yeah, we could. But that's not for like another, I don't know, like 20, no, not 20, that'd be 30. 10 years.
Another 10 years? Okay, well, maybe.
So one more question from us, Kim. I want to know if you met somebody or if somebody, another kid came to you and was interested and wanted to get started in the paranormal investigating and just and develop an interest in this, what would you say to that person, to help get them interested, or what advice would you give somebody looking to start as a kid in this?
Well, first I would say that they would need to get do their research and figure out like all these different types of things about the paranormal. I would read certain types of books of it. Like I would tell them a certain type of book that they could go read about.
Oh, sure.
I feel like they would need to get certain types of tools, like basically materials. Like I don't know, what would be a good first?
I don't know.
What do you use? K2 or something?
A K2, yeah. A K2 is probably
good
first.
K2 or a recorder.
Yeah, those are probably the
best.
Those
are those are the first ones I've ever used.
Yeah.
Or no, the pendulum. Ones, yeah. And then I would say get comfortable with it, understand and be comfortable with it, and don't be scared.
Yeah. And also have some patience too.
Yeah, you need patience. There's a lot of waiting. It's not like what you see on TV where it's something happens, boom, something happens.
And tell them not to whisper.
Yeah, don't whisper.
Don't ever whisper.
If you whisper, then the voice code or whatever you're using is gonna pick it up, and everyone's gonna think it's something.
It's not like demons.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Awesome.
Possibly. Well, I just have another quick question. So, it's Halloween. What are you going to be for Halloween?
Ooh.
I'm going to be Michael Myers from Halloween.
You're going to be Michael Myers for Halloween.
I love it.
That's super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I love it too because it's the one thing that terrifies her mother the most.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a good match. And I just can't see. I'm excited now because there's a Michael Myers mask in the house. So this is going to give me year-round enjoyment of just popping up outside of windows and yeah, I can't wait. So
yeah, you're just wait. You're going to get throat punched.
Yeah.
I'm going to wear the costume to Parafest.
Oh yes, next week is Parafest, and actually next weekend is Parafest. Obviously, some folks will know what their main Parafest. So some folks may be there that are listening to this podcast.
Yeah. Now they know.
So what is something really quickly that I just wanted to share because you've been working really hard at this? But what are you bringing to Parafest?
Okay, so I've been working on these rubber band bracelets. And I recently just got a bunch of rubber bands, and I'm going to be working on those very soon. And I want to make these little ghost lollipops, but I don't know if my mom wants me to make them.
Okay, but what are you making all this stuff for? You're throwing me underneath the bus acting like I'm a mean mom.
Okay. So I've been making all of these for a while now, and I am planning on giving them away for free.
Mm-hmm. But are you asking for like a donation or
Like,
anything in return?
Well, kind of like a donation. Like if you wanted to throw like some, like I don't know,
$1 or
like
two?
a dollar
Yeah.
or two. I'm gonna have like a little bucket or something that says tips. Yeah, no, it's gonna say donations, and that would be going towards more rubber bands to make more rubber band bracelets, and well, half of it would go towards that, and then the other half would be going towards like investigating materials
So
and stuff.
you want to
Build
get
that toolbox up.
Yeah, she wants to build
it's
the
like
first
empty.
toolbox.
I think I have a flashlight. I have a K2. What else do I have?
I don't know.
I don't know. I have a bunch of stickers all over it.
You got the essentials.
No, I don't. I have like 3 stickers. No, 6 stickers.
All right.
Well, so pretty much you're
Small.
making these bracelets, which I think is awesome, and you're going to be selling them or not selling them. You're going to be giving them away for free, and if people are feeling generous enough that they could donate, and you're looking to add some more tools to your toolbox, and that's how you're going to be saving your money. And so I think that's a really good idea. That I think it also might make somebody's day. These fun little bracelets that you've been working really hard on. So
Awesome.
I'm gonna try to make certain colors. So like, there's some they're gonna be like rainbow, like not rainbow, but like a bunch of different colors, and we're gonna be solid. Some are gonna have like a basically a solid, and then another one would have like a solid, another solid color, and then the rest of the original color.
So that'd be fun.
Well, if you guys hear this in time and you are interested in checking it out, come on out to Parafest up in Basselboro, Maine. Coming up this Saturday or next Saturday on the 16th, is it?
Yep.
Check that out. Also, you can come see Dylan at our event at 14 Fest November 6th here in Springvale, Maine. You can hop on to our site over at Paranormal 5 at Facebook to find out about that event as well. So please come check Dylan out. Come check us out. Kid, super excited. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Yes, thank you, Dylan.
And answering some questions here. And you can follow along too. We post some Dylan stuff up as well, and she's right up there on the page with us again over on our Facebook page. So you can check us out there, and we can get some of her stuff up there as well. If you have any questions, you want to send us a message and have Dylan answer, you want to ask Dylan some questions, or if you have kids, or if you know of kids who are interested in getting in the field and they just want to kind of throw some questions off of her, I'm sure she'd be down for talking to some people. So as always, guys, thank you all for coming and hanging out tonight, and we will talk to you guys again soon.
Yes, thanks, guys.
Take care.
Bye.